The following is a full interview from the Border Battle with King and CJ. Tune into the Border Battle Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 11 to noon on Sudden Link Channel 112, YouTube Live, or OSU Student Radio KXZY.
We're going to try and make a difference to Tulsa, players, and support the city that supports us.
18 here in the Paul Miller Journalism Building. You're listening to the Border Battle with King and CJ on OSU Student Radio KXZY. I'm King, he's CJ between us, and a Beffer, former Cowgirl Soccer player, and now with Fortuna Tulsa. So that was Wayne Farmer, the GM of Fortuna Tulsa, and he talked about a few things, and we'll get to all of them throughout the interview here. But starting off, what attracted you to Fortuna Tulsa?
I initially didn't know about it. I got a call from their now head coach, Michael Wilson, and he kind of told me their vision and told me what they were all about and kind of what they wanted with the season. And he came up and we had lunch, and it was definitely something that I wanted to be a part of. It's really cool. They're trying to keep Tulsa kids in Tulsa, and Tulsa has a lot of talent, and they have a lot of girls that have played at a really high level across the whole country. And I think it's awesome that they're trying to keep that talent in Tulsa, and kind of build a local team and kind of get something that hopefully the city can get behind, and as much as the girls are getting behind. So that was kind of it worked out for my timeline, and it was definitely something that I wanted to be a part of, and just kind of their inaugural season. I think it'll be exciting for the soccer community, and just kind of moving forward, hopefully it'll attract some buzz. But
Now, yesterday you talked about growing up in Tulsa, and you said you've played some of the best players in the country that aren't even getting national team recognition or stuff like that because it's such a difficult thing to do. Talk about that a little bit for everyone who wasn't in the room for that, and then also what is this just a stepping stone for Fortuna Tulsa? What is their kind of outlook on that? Are they trying to be a stepping stone, and where do you fit into that?
So I was just kind of talking yesterday about how just the level, there's so many good players that kind of fall through the cracks. And I've been fortunate enough to be surrounded by a lot of really talented players that have, made me the kind of player that I am, and hopefully, continue to be. And I think it's just important that those girls are able to get exposure, and it's difficult to get exposure, obviously. There's not a lot of opportunity in the U.S. for women's soccer, and I think Fortuna is trying to take that to the next level and really, help the girls out to have that kind of experience and get them that exposure. And I think long term, they're just trying to kind of be a gateway and kind of just allow the girls to have a good professional experience, whether that be just with semi-pro, whether that be post-college or just continue to playing or take it to the next level. For me personally, they're just trying to help me, enjoy the game, stay fit, and potentially gain exposure to play at that next level, which is my end goal. So they've done everything they can, and I, can't think of enough so far, and we haven't even played a game yet. So I'm really excited, and they've put a lot behind it, and they're just trying to expose the talent in Tulsa and, show everyone what kind of local talent that we have.
So then, before obviously coming to OSU, you played with the TSC Hurricanes and under Coach Schubert and Donovan Bradshaw. What's it like now knowing that Donovan Bradshaw is the first assistant? Is that kind of maybe like a safety net, or kind of cool to know, now he's followed you to this next level of it?
Yeah, I had a blast playing for Carrie and Donovan. They had a huge impact on me as a player, and I keep in touch with both of them. I've kept in touch with a lot of the coaches throughout my career and at my OSU career, and I'm extremely excited to play for him again. I'm really happy for him. I know he's really excited about this position, and I think he'll be a really great asset to the team. And we have a great relationship, and I really like all the coaches that they have. I think they've picked a really good staff, and I think it's good as a player too to kind of, be coached by other coaches and kind of learn the game, differently, and be exposed to new things. And so I think that'll be good for me as well. I've never been coached by Michael Wilson or Michael Moritz, and so I think that'll be good for me as a player to kind of expand, my soccer knowledge and learn from someone else. And Donovan, has obviously helped me become a player that I am today, so that can only help. But they have a great staff, and they have a great management team, and I think it'll be really good.
You're now the face of Fortuna Tulsa. Many people would suggest you're the first player signed for them. Any added pressure when it comes to being the first player for a franchise?
There's always there's always a little pressure. You want to give I want to represent them well and, do what they brought me in to do. But to be honest, they've been really supportive, and I feel really comfortable there. And I think for me as a player, I've, matured a lot in college, and you kind of have to just do the best you can and know that everything's going to fall into place. And I think if I do what I've been doing, and I'm surrounded by a lot of really good girls, and I mean, again, soccer is a team sport, and the roster that we have is unreal. We have a lot of really good girls, and I know that I think it'll be a good cohesive group, and there's a lot of respect within the team. But no, I mean, I can't wait to play, and I know that the girls will all be really supportive of each other, and the coaches, want you to succeed, and they want you to enjoy the experience and have fun. So I didn't really feel, a ton of pressure. Obviously, we want to win games, and that's why, we're in the league, and we have goals that we've set that we want to achieve. But I think if we all just kind of, buy in and have the same mindset, I think that it'll be a good season.
Overall, Wayne talked about these 3 pillars. The first one is supporting the city that supports you. Mm-hmm. And do you think, obviously, with the obvious takeaway that I took away from that was, Wayne and all of these people want to make sure that women's soccer grows in this country and continues to grow in this country. Do you think Tulsa is a city that will be receptive to a women's soccer team at a next level? At a level like this, kind of semi-pro, do you think that's a city that's going to be receptive? And then talk about what Fortuna Tulsa is going to do to give back to the city of Tulsa.
Mm-hmm. I think it's a great market. I think there's a lot of youth soccer in Tulsa, boys and girls. And, for me growing up, I didn't have that team to kind of look up to. It was really only college. And when I grew up, I would, occasionally go watch Oklahoma State and Stillwater or watch TU. But there really weren't a lot of options for girls to kind of have those players to look up to. And like I said, there's a lot of talent in Tulsa. And I think that it's a really, really good place to have a team like this. And kind of with how their vision and what they've already planned on doing and how they plan on being involved in the community, I think it can only be a good thing for the city. And I'm really excited. I've already, it's fun to go out and meet girls that are excited about it. We've spent a lot of time at local tournaments and just kind of meeting with local teams, and they're all excited. And I think that's just a really cool thing for girls to have, a team to kind of get excited about and have a more intimate experience with. If you're with a big, like I love Wayne Rooney. Will I ever meet him? Probably not.
Right.
But I think it's kind of cool at a local level to kind of just have that experience. And yeah, they've spent a lot of time making sure that their presence is known, but not just for media purposes. They've done a lot of things behind the scenes just to show their support through the community, through, every different organization I can think of. Just since we've started, I know Wayne has been working like crazy just to kind of meet with everyone and make everyone kind of feel, I don't want to say feel special, but I think it's incredible how every season ticket holder they've had, they've personally delivered the tickets. And I think that says a lot because they want that, they want to go the extra mile, and they really want to make an impact, not just with soccer, but show that we support the city. And I know that the ownership group they love Tulsa, and they want to keep the girls in Tulsa, and they want to support everyone in Tulsa. And that's really cool too. Just growing up in Tulsa, they kind of have the same love and passion for it that I do. And I think it's going to be a good thing, and I hope that people realize that they are, genuine in their approach, and they really care about this city. And I think it will translate with the fans on the field too, because if they see that same passion that we have for the city, and if we put our time in off the field too, that they'll come back and support us in the same way that we did. So.
Well, I mean, Wayne did drive an hour and a half to Stillwater to present to a PR class. I mean, I think there is definitely some passion there to create this relationship. So,
yeah. So talking more about, I guess, professional athletes and stuff, is there an athlete that you've, looked up to, whether it was from soccer or a different sport? And then, with your soccer game, is there maybe an athlete that you've maybe mimicked or kind of copied their style that you kind of, taken in and made your own style as well?
Mm-hmm. Growing up, my favorite player was actually Ronaldinho. He played for Brazil, and I really liked, honestly, just how happy he was and kind of how creative he was. And, really everyone will tell you, whether you're an athlete or you're just a working professional or whatever you're doing, there are some days where, you're just like, why am I doing this? Or you have, those rough days. And I think kind of growing up and watching him just enjoy himself and try new things on the field and make, defenders look stupid. I loved watching him, and I kind of wanted to be like that. So that's kind of who I would say I most tried to model my play after. But, there have been a lot of influences in my life, even, girls that I've watched play that are just a few years older than me. But, I've just tried to kind of use his creativity and love for the game and kind of translate it into my own and kind of remember that and just remember that, if you're having fun and being creative, that good things will happen. And if it doesn't work out, you just, laugh and keep going. But, that's probably the biggest professional that I've looked up to growing up and, still do. And there are a lot of others. Tobin Heath on the girls' side was kind of an influence for me. She's kind of the same way. I love watching her and just kind of how she handles herself and her creativity on the field as well. So I kind of try and be more technical. That's kind of what I focus on as a player, and I want to, have good soccer knowledge and be able to read the game well. And so that's kind of what I try to do. But I've definitely picked a few things, hopefully up from those professionals, and tried to influence or impacted my game. So
obviously the technical and the mental side of the game is something that Oklahoma State's going to miss, and Fortuna Tulsa not just getting a local kid, but getting Anna Beffer, the essentially one of the top probably handful of offensive players in the country. When you talk about your output last year, assists second in the country, you led the team in points and pretty good shooting percentage as well. When you look at that, taking that to the next level, what is the next step for you in your personal development as a soccer player?
Yeah, to be honest, this past season for me, it was kind of crazy how it happened the way it did, because I went into the season with kind of a whole different mindset than I'd ever gone into a season with. Which sounds cliche, but it was senior year, and I knew that I could produce more. I knew that I had more in me, but I wanted to enjoy the season. And for me, going out there every game and just kind of taking a breath and enjoying it was a big thing for me. And I want to continue to do that. And I think when I do that and I'm focused on enjoying myself and trying new things and being creative, that's when I'm at my best. And so just moving forward with whichever team I play for, I think if I'm going to have good players around me to, help make me better and just to have a good time and continue to try new things. And that was kind of, I don't know, it's kind of crazy how it all happened, because every season's different. And last season it just kind of all, it all fell in place for me. And so I think that kind of gives me some momentum moving forward and definitely some confidence. But I'm really excited, and we have a good group of girls that I'm going to get to play with, and I can't wait, because that's a big part of it as well. I had a great team behind me that helped me. So,
real quick, I want to finish off with, Fortuna Tulsa said it's about after playing days, and they're getting you some contacts in the actual real world for what you want to do. Can you just talk about that real quick?
Yeah, that's incredible what they're doing, honestly, because I've already met with a lot of really great business professionals that have given me advice, and it's good to hear, because as an athlete trying to continue on, I'm really excited about my professional career. I definitely want a career not in sports, well, not in being the athlete, but and they've kind of given me advice on that's okay, and I can go pursue that dream and then come back and have a professional career, and they'll help me they'll do everything they can to help make that happen. So it's good to have that to fall back on and know that they'll support me in that.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for taking out a few minutes. Anna Beffer, she's trading in America's brightest orange for the sky blue of Fortuna Tulsa, and Fortuna Tulsa very lucky to have you as the face of their franchise early on here. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll get you caught up on what we got caught up on, including some ticker topics, Bucks forcing Game 7, and this great story from the NFL draft last night. Well, all of that next on The Border Battle on KXCY.